channel and banning him. Eh,
Isn't it funny? Richie Rich has all the money, and Superman flies in the sky. Elmer Fudd's got a shotgun, it's loaded with dead fun, but Mighty Mouse will save the day. Saturday morning cartoon, Batman and Robin never lose. With little Tom Thumb, the inch high private eye, and I always watch the coyote die. Isn't it a weller when Popeye the Sailor punches Brutus right on the nose? Ow, Olive Oil is screaming, but she's only dreaming, loving two men at one time. Isn't it ironic everyone has bionic? Two limbs who sought to fly in the sky, and the one-eyed monster is really a prankster playing with the minds of the young. Saturday morning cartoon, road running on the loose, with Speedy Gonzales and Scooby-Dooby-Doo, and the smelly skunk Pepe Le Pew. Ew. It's like a fantasy. Can we face reality? Must we make life a mockery and turn the truth upside down? Saturday morning cartoon, road running on the loose, Speedy Gonzales, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, and the smelly skunk Pepe Le Pew. Ew. Saturday morning
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. With me is Gorilla's Random Thoughts and Emerald Tig. How you guys doing?
great.
All right.
Can't wait to see this cartoon that you've got lined up for us. It's historical.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a nap.
Hello, Belter. Hello, Belted Copper.
Hey, Melton.
Hey,
Yeah, you know,
Copper.
guys, now you're going to have to listen hard here. Jennifer Lawrence uses a slightly different voice as Lois Lane in this. Hello, Captain Fandom Nerd.
And hey, Captain,
Captain.
how are you doing? And hey,
What's
Scurvy.
up, buddy?
It's
Lemon
Lemon.
pie.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, friends. Everybody, if you got a chance to watch on a second device to get germs, views, and hours up, that would always be helpful. And tweet out the stream to your pals so they know we're here and there's quality entertainment.
Yeah. Today we have a special presentation. The first Superman in cartoon or live action. 1941.
John Williams was only 25 years old.
Yeah. Created by Max Fletcher at Fletcher Studios. So if you want to watch along or join the panel, both links are pinned to the top. Let me double check if that's actually true. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So
And it looks
let's
like
get this
Cody Guy's
started.
it looks like Cody Guy's patiently waiting. Welcome to Cody Guy, the man of many words.
Hello.
Oh yeah, Cody Guy's in Cosmic. Welcome,
Yeah.
Cody. So here we go. Good old Technicolor.
I didn't even think they had color in the 40s. Well, I guess Wizard of Oz was in color, and that was 36, but
They had hand-drawn animation, so you could kind of do it like that.
Yeah. It's expensive, but they did have it.
Right. Are we echoing?
I'm not hearing an echo.
Might be just on my end.
Well, I caught her attention here for a couple seconds.
Hey, it's doing good for a 3-year-old.
Yeah. It's not Elsa, so she's not interested.
Yeah.
So I love Superman's alternate kind of early suit with the black logo. It's already a better story than Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I didn't need that half hour with Russell Crowe contradicting himself. I love the ink marks on the at the end of the letter because there are no ballpoint pens. It's a better Perry White than we got from Zack Snyder. He at least cares about the news.
And her can walk. I don't know her back.
Well, I guess Lo's the pilot now.
They show her in aviation gear a lot early.
Fletcher Studios didn't want to make Superman and shouted out a comical price and ended up still getting the job. Oh, good for them.
Are these the Popeye people?
Hey, Cody guy. Steamboat Willie and Betty Boop, I guess.
Listen to that state-of-the-art piston turbine engine on that propeller plane.
Hey, you know that propeller on that plane is actually meant to keep the pilot cool? If you don't believe me, when it stops, you can actually see the pilot sweating. Nothing for me, T.
What is to keep them cool? The fact that it's an open cockpit?
The propeller.
No, the
Oh,
propeller.
yeah,
It's
no,
meant-
that's
it's
just
meant
that's
to
just
keep
there
the
to cool
pilot
them off.
When it stops,
Yeah,
when it stops, you can actually start seeing the pilot start to sweat.
that's right. And the pilots never take off until that's been running for a minute to cool them down. They want to get their heads together. This is before air conditioning was really functional. Although I will say this, about half the people who went to see this movie went to see it to get out of the cold or the heat. People just went to the movies. This happens to be a quality movie.
No, these were aired between the features. Is the
Would they
shut
be?
the
Okay.
kid up.
Right. Well, I had heard there was different methods. Like sometimes it would be cartoons until a certain time, and the movies became slowly more serious till your feature.
Yeah, we got a pop. Where is? Here we go. Hey, PvP.
Hey guys,
You feeling okay?
damn, just woke up.
Okay.
Woke up a bit late, but
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm just still half asleep, so I might sound a little rough, but
Hey,
haven't had my morning tea. That's probably the problem. But I figured, well, I probably missed at least one or two episodes already, so I thought, well, I'll pop on anyway. I should put the kettle on, I guess.
middle
These
of
are
his first
such great
cartoon.
cartoons, though. I didn't want to miss these when I figured they were going to win. They were going to win yesterday. It looked like, and I got to say, these Fleischer Brothers Superman cartoons are some of the best animated cartoons I think I've ever made. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
I like how
Oh.
this Superman
Early
just
version of Lex Luthor.
yeah, I was trying to figure him out in an early version of the Empire State Building.
This is great.
Hey, PvP.
Yo,
There's a correction to tonight's review.
what's that? What?
There's a correction to tonight's review. It's not Return to the Lost World. It's just the Lost World.
World.
Oh, that's okay.
This is not the most smoothly edited story.
No, not for a short kids cartoon.
It feels, I don't know if this is totally for kids. I don't know. I will say this, there's parts of this story that are just off screen that we are left to assume. Like Lex Luthor is suddenly attacking, so it's okay, so he's definitely there, or he's definitely got his tech in place. And this Superman flies by flying, unlike Snyder Man, who flies by planking.
So strong he could punch a laser.
I've been wondering about that and what it's supposed to be. Do they have a laser at this point? Right? Had it even been conceived of yet?
Yeah.
We're like 35 years after the electric light bulb at this point, maybe 40.
41. That was the beginning of the war.
By the end of the year, the last 3 weeks of the year were at war. The crazy part is America's World War II participation was just over 3 years.
I believe
we
these
kicked so much
cartoons
ass.
run through 41 to 43.
In that case, the war might start to creep in towards the end, but that Batman 43 is 100% war propaganda made with war propaganda money, and you can see the Army Signal Corps logo at the end.
Yeah. At some time during this run, I do believe they switched to Truce, Justice, and the American Way.
So what do you think would have happened if Superman had landed in Germany, guys?
I don't know, but they got a pretty interesting story about what would happen if he landed in the Soviet Union.
Oh, gosh. Propaganda, our version of the truth and the Soviet way.
I think there are some of the later Superman cartoons that are propaganda, aren't they, though? Because they're during the war years. I haven't seen these in ages.
Everything in Hollywood was used to kind of get people on the same emotional page about the war.
Yeah.
Because it was not a popular thing to do until we were attacked. Like 80% of Americans wanted no part of either conflict. They were just like,
Oh,
these
yeah,
people
I
want to
know. I
fight.
know. Like Canada was in the war a long time before you guys joined us to fight. Yeah.
Yeah, well, somebody had to go in there and
Well,
we started the goon line first, right?
Well,
Go in there and mix it up, put in the skill players later.
Well, we were part of the Commonwealth, right? So along with Australia, we had to go help out the UK, because we were part of the Commonwealth. So we declared war, I think, within the first couple of weeks, after Germany started all the bullshit,
When they go to war, you go to war.
Hey,
yeah.
Mombi.
Kinda.
Hey,
it's kind of like
Mombi,
that.
hi.
Yeah.
Hey, Mommy.
That's okay, but thanks for stopping by and saying hi.
Hello, Mombi.
I feel like someone needs to ask, do you have the orange button I can stream this off to my fans too?
I just love these old cartoons. So God, these are so damn well made. They're just so damn good.
I'm
I've
gonna
always
say
been a big fan of these Fleischer brother Superman cartoons. So There's just something about them that just,
He's
not
got a
only they
drone.
have
Look at that.
cool stories, but they just got such cool animation. They're just so damn good.
But look at this guy. He's got a drone. This is ahead, he's like they're like 65 years ahead of their time.
Hell
This guy's
yes.
got a drone.
That's why I love these
And-
cartoons so much. They were
and
visionary,
we don't really yeah, they are visionary. I'll say this, they're so well drawn that a lot of time was spent thinking about every shot, but there wasn't enough
Damn
people
right.
doing story. There just wasn't enough people on the story or on the edit. Look at that. Look at those greenbacks. That's hilarious.
Yeah, these are great.
By the way, you guys did much better in World War II because you adopted the British Enfield rifle. Your World War I rifle was an absolute disaster.
Well, that's good. Good that we adopted a better rifle.
Canada had never been to
monster.
war. In World War I, Canada had hypothetically never been to war. So
Yeah,
they made a gun, but it was too precise. It was the problem the Germans made in the next war. Like
Yeah, it
one
was
piece of dirt.
Wait, why would they advertise it? It's $50 million worth of the rarest gems. Just say the House of Jewels has an exhibit today. Don't
Well,
advertise how
they had to
That was a lot of
advertise it.
money back then.
They had to advertise it, Gorilla, so the bad guys would, do the bad things, and we'd have the cartoon happen, right?
The guy across town had to put a sale on bullets and bags with dollar signs on them, It's like she caught him buying porn. Lois.
Uh-oh.
This is early in Metropolis's relationship with Superman, so the cops are still carrying heavy assault rifles with them.
Yeah, I just love it. Those are like what, Tommy guns or something, I guess you would call them.
They're
Hilarious.
the artist hadn't seen too many, so they're a little weird, but yeah,
That's great.
Tommy
That's
guns.
great.
they might as well save their bullets and just run.
Was there ever a point in America's history where patrolmen, just average patrolmen on an average day, would walk around with machine guns? Like the Czech Republic was like that.
Oh God.
Hey, that'll teach you the jaywalk.
I was terrified.
That'll teach you the jaywalk.
They believe in theatrics there. They don't want you breaking the law. When you walk off the plane, you walk down a long jetway lined on either side with soldiers with machine guns who are just staring you down. You're like, I'm not going to do anything wrong here. And then you find out they basically have no laws that you can do whatever you want. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the phone company logo on that telephone booth is what that is. Before cell phones, hardwired landlines were housed inside a small booth.
I gotta love the music in these things too.
Hey, good morning, Jim. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Commodore.
Hey, Jim.
Both links are pinned to the top, Commodore.
Okay, so this guy's got at least 13 of these robots. Okay. And we're rolling out the X-ray eyes because we talked about it.
Oh, yeah. This stuff's been featured in the comic before, so
They've got to be thinking this
The
is
kids
a
will
new
be happy.
audience. Lois is flying 2 episodes in a row. She's got Superman envy. Whoa.
I'll be back in a little bit. The kid decided to lock the room that I don't have a key for.
Oh, great.
how nice. Good luck with that, Gorilla.
Wonderful. I'm just gonna go
Slide a credit
I'm gonna
card.
go put the kettle on. I gotta make some tea and wake up.
Try what I tried last time I locked myself out. I took my student ID card and pushed it into the little slot where the lock was and pushed the bolt back in. They really like putting green eyes on their character. Lois and this week's Mad Scientist have them. You'd think he'd have a Roomba with all that robotic technology to clean this place up.
Well, you have to have priorities. You want a nice clean layer, or do you want jewels, money, and all sort of other ill-gotten gains?
Now I'm picturing this guy with like an interior decorator, and he's just like, listen, we can go with 2 looks here. If you want, we can go with the authoritarian and intimidating. It's like, yes, I want that. I just finished reading this book called The Hobbit. It deeply inspired me. Give me something along those lines. The Hobbit, what's that? J.R.R. Tolkien, who's he?
How is she going to talk when you have her gagged?
Like I said, no one thought about the stories. And electricity is still so magical. You just have to show its presence, and people are like, okay. Are they maybe taking a shot at the Phantom? Because that looks like Lamont Cranston to a degree.
I doubt it.
He's got a lot of these drones. This is forward-looking stuff.
Yeah. Well, he has a lot of money to steal.
George Lucas is like, I could make a whole movie with an arena of attacking robots like this if I don't go too far. And Lucas has openly said this is the kind of stuff that inspired him.
Yeah. Well, he took great stuff to work off of.
He really did pick great stuff to work off of. And he didn't use every single device from these either. Like the cliffhanger, he doesn't employ that until episode 2. Superman, the first Blade Runner, ladies and gentlemen. And now he's going to do some stuff from Temple of Doom. Isn't he? That was pretty spectacular and cool. Is it me, or is he like taking huge leaps rather than so much flying at this point?
Half and half.
They're working this beginning to make it a little more elaborate every time.
Yeah. Oh, there's months in between these being produced.
Right, so they're coordinating with the comic people and talking to them more and more. They got the voice casting right. Superman sounds like Superman. The villains also sound like Superman, but that's just... And no one has employed any anti-Superman hacks yet. There's no like lead yet. No Krypton. I don't think they have any kryptonite yet.
None of that was invented until the Golden Age. That's after the 50s.
Right. Krypton comes much after this. And then like we start getting different kinds of kryptonite much later.
What'd I miss?
Actually, the first and second stories were almost identical, except Mad Scientist number 2 had an army of drone-like robots that were pretty cool. Otherwise, we found out Superman's cape is fireproof.
You guys
Superman saved Lois and destroyed the army of drones. That's all you missed, Gorilla.
So now
Okay.
we've upped the stakes. Instead of just 50 million, we've got $1 billion. And in 1941, that was a considerable amount of money still. I mean, today, if you win $1 billion on scratch offs, do you even bother picking it up? Is it worth the gas? Think about it. This is literally the national debt worth of money. Like the national debt from 40 years later. That was cool.
Hey, Mikey.
Hey, Mikey.
How much money do the police in Metropolis spend on ammunition every year? They're just cutting loose on anything that moves. I think we just had our first fatality in 3 cartoons.
If you don't see them die, they didn't die.
Well, those 2 guys clearly just become Winter Soldiers. They went out the same way as Bucky. Look how fascinated this whole thing is with technology of any kind. Electricity, automatic weapons, and trains. They're like hung up on it to a degree.
They had trains back then.
Right. They're kind of hung up on these trains are very different from what they're used to though. These are like first generation diesel trains.
No, these are trains have been around for about 90 years. They first pop up in the 1850s. That's when the barons start putting together there. And
wait, I thought they were around
about 91.
I thought it was the 30s, not 1830s.
You're both correct. The invention is like several different places at about the same time. In the course of 3 or 4 years, everyone gets it down because everyone's working on this idea that they can capture steam heat. And I think first the guy makes a riverboat engine, right? Fulton, Robert J. Fulton invents the working steam engine, and that opens the door for the steam locomotive.
Yeah, because I thought it's been around since the 30s because we had a ton of railroads used in the Civil War.
Oh yeah, no, the coal-driven locomotives were around. These are I would call them like 4th generation locomotives. This technology was familiar, but the manner of which they're using it is different. Like they're not feeding coal into a locomotive anymore. It's either diesel or electric. And they had changed the design of trains a lot. This is pretty cool.
And for a quick conversion, $1 billion in gold is about $22 billion today.
Only 22% inflation?
2,200%.
So 1 billion would be 220 billion?
22 billion today.
22 billion.
Yeah, I still don't even think they'll cover 5% of what Alex Jones got fined in that Connecticut court.
I feel bad for Alejandro Jones.
Who?
I call him Alejandro Jones because I know YouTube isn't crazy about his name.
Well,
besides, it's kind of funny. There is a coal tender in this car. Even the artist wasn't familiar with the technology yet.
So he grabbed the engineer, but he forgot the guy scooping coal.
I think
wait,
the coal tender
No,
was
that's
thrown
Lois.
out of the train in the struggle, right? One guy
Yeah,
was thrown
the
out of the engine in the struggle.
Crooks already got rid of him.
And let's just take a moment to think of all the jobs lost for the coal shovelers of this world by the invention of, batteries and electricity. Just terrible shame.
Well, that they're like with your like phone batteries, the car batteries, and all that. That I can deal with that.
I'm only
It's
kidding
innovative.
around. I'm totally kidding around. Remember, like up to this point, like they didn't even have automatic oil joints. Like on a ship, you'd have a guy who just sat there all day dripping oil onto a piston for 12 hours.
But Bud Clary and Joan Alexander did the voices.
Hey, would it just be
She also
easier
did
to
the voice
push
for the
train?
radio.
Would it have been just easier to push the train all the way instead of pulling it?
Well, how else is
Yeah,
he
there are
gonna
logical
stop
gaps
it?
in these.
He has to see where he's going, know when to stop. It really doesn't make a difference to Superman if he's pushing or pulling.
That was the best piece of animation so far, him moving that newspaper page and how perfectly everything moved with it. Oh, we got a fourth wall break. Superman knows we're in on his secret. So what do you think the average length is here? About 11 minutes?
Yeah, about 10, 11 minutes, give or take.
What were film reels? 16?
I got another. Why can't I scroll down?
The Bulleteers. I love it. What a great, finally a good creative name.
Hey, Mikey.
Oh, hey guys. So while I'm on here, before I go out again, so what I found out was that Bud Collyer, that's his last name, he was the live action guy on the radio that voiced Superman for the Adventures of Superman radio series before they did the TV series with George Reeves. And then Joan Alexander, who voiced Lois Lane on the radio with the same show, then did the animated series. So it went from the radio adventures to the animated series, and then they redid a live action with George Reeves. So yeah, kind of cool.
He's not the first.
Yeah.
The first appearance of Clark Kent and Superman is in Batman 48.
Right, in the comics.
Live action. No.
Oh,
it's
live
cinematic.
action?
Live
okay.
action Batman goes to the 30s. I'm sorry, comic book Batman goes to like the late 30s.
Okay, well then that was Kurt Allen because Kurt Allen did Batman. Collier must have done Superman for that because I
By
know
the
he
way,
did the radio series.
Anyone who didn't believe me, if your last name is Collier, you got that because your ancestors used to shovel coal. It was a big time job.
Yes, my ancestors did, and they also farmed vineyards. So yes, that's how I was able to determine that was pronounced that way, Collier. Yeah, because otherwise they spell it. Yeah, because otherwise they spell it Collier is the other way they do it too.
That's the first spelling, right?
Yeah, that's the first correct spelling, and then they do the other one. So yeah.
The other one would be loosely referred to as the Ellis Island abbreviation, right?
Oh, correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's where most of my relatives. Well, at least that's what my dad said. His dad's dad all came through Ellis Island.
Yeah, Doomsday Cult.
Oh yeah.
If you go to Ellis Island, you can actually look up your ancestor's name. It'll tell you what ship they arrived on, how long they were there.
I'd like to do that. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do that yet. That'd be cool. I'd love to.
That might be accessible online.
I think it is. Yeah, I would definitely love to check that out. See where my dad's relatives came from.
Ellis Island is even more impressive than the Statue of Liberty. It's something to see.
Yeah, didn't they just refurbish it, Teague? Did they refurbish it?
They refurbished it at the end of the 20th century, but they've kept it up. It was completely in disrepair, but it is the same building that they use in Godfather 2, where Vito fails to clear because he has like TB or something. He's got like the mumps, and he has to stay there a few extra weeks.
Yeah.
This was filmed on location. I walked into that room. It was so unworldly.
Isn't it?
Just-
Yeah.
Well, I think the saddest thing was going to the departure pier for people who got turned away and seeing the abandoned luggage and just thinking about the broken dreams.
Oh, right. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, that's
What if-
hard.
What if you
Think
make it
Gorilla
in
has
and
to
mom and
reset.
dad get sent home?
Yeah, that's the hard part.
A lot of people drown in that river trying to swim to Manhattan. I'm sure of that. That is the most. If you think the Mississippi is crazy, man, try the Hudson. That river is insane.
I don't think so.
It is the most turbulent, unswimmable, deadly river known to man. Maybe outside the Amazon. There are no piranhas in there, but aside from that,
I think that the Mississippi does come pretty close. We crossed over the Mississippi and saw how turbulent it was coming down. This was just as we were coming out of St. Louis, And
I've been to
Yeah.
Wisconsin in the summer. I've seen the Mississippi. It's like twice as wide. The Hudson's about 2 miles wide. The
okay.
Mississippi might
Yeah.
be 3 or 4, and it
Right.
looks to be running a lot less, like slowly, from my observation. And the better person to ask about this would obviously be Gorilla, because he lives in that area and he's seen the Mississippi like as many times as I've seen the back of my hand. I'm sure.
I'm
But-
sure, yes.
What about the Mississippi?
Well, we're just saying how big it is.
About how wide is it? About 4
How
miles
wide
across,
is it? Yeah, we were
Roughly
just talking
four-
about that.
Dude, it
and how swift?
Depends on where you're crossing. Depends on where you're crossing. 'Cause I could actually step across the Mississippi. If I go up to Itasca, I could actually step across the Mississippi.
Really? Wow.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, it's the furthest tributary, right?
Yeah.
That's where it begins, and it's only like a foot wide. But if you get down to
Wow.
if you get down to Louisiana, it could be what was it? Was it half a mile wide?
Yeah.
Our river's 2 miles wide. It's insane.
That's
And,
pretty cool. That's pretty
yeah.
cool to know, Gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Phantom Outsider. Hey, how's it going?
I never thought of
he
the
says it's even worse.
Mississippi being a foot wide and you could step
had
across it.
relatives-
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say what. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that was kind of cool information Gorilla
Yeah,
just
into
shared
his
because
kid, and when
I
customers
never
noticed
knew
they were
there were
denied
parts of the
reentry. Yeah, that's
Mississippi
terrible,
that
man.
narrow.
No,
Yeah.
Superman missed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's terrible, Phantom Outsider. I'm sorry to heard about that. One of my favorite animated ones is where he goes up against the mechanical men, the ones that fly in and get the jewelry and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
you
cool.
just
Yeah.
missed that
That's
one.
actually one of
You
my favorite
Missed
ones.
that one. We just watched that
Oh,
a little while
darn it.
ago.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh, that was
Darn
in the
it, yes,
30s.
that's one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh, that's a terrible
Yeah.
story though, and very believable. I mean, that's
I
Italians.
think the
and
Italian thing had the more to do it than the kid having a brain injury.
they had a lot of
Yeah.
problems with the idea that Italians were even white. Take it from an Italian. I'm being honest.
I'm taking it.
Well,
I'm taking it.
they had some
I-
other problems with
Yeah.
Italians at the time too.
There were some Italian businessmen who we could only call enterprising, who maybe invented a few ways
Yeah.
to make money no one had thought of before, to put it politely.
If I could get the help with the gas there, maybe this summer I'd go up to Itasca for a night and I'll film myself walking across the Mississippi.
That would
And
be
Yes,
take
you
better.
should.
pictures. And take pictures.
That would be very cool, Gorilla. You should do
But I
that.
need
Well-
help with the gas on that one.
Uh-oh.
We've seen 5 installments of this, and Lois has flown in 4 of them, either getting kidnapped by the drone or willfully flying. But she is strongly associated with, I guess, Amelia Earhart at this point is like their goal.
Well, she's also
Yeah.
a world traveler. And I guess in a way, because she realized the Superman can like go from one part of the world to the other and like nothing flat, she has to feel like she has to travel around just to keep up with him. I don't know. I think
Well,
that's
you
the
know,
way it goes throughout
Amelia
most of
Earhart
them.
was one of the most famous women on the Earth at the time. So
And she was
probably was,
assumed to be
yeah.
They
alive.
equate it.
She was assumed to be alive, and people were still actively looking for her.
Oh yeah, they're
That was
still
like
looking.
5 years before this.
I did say hello, Jim. Hello, Jim.
Oh, hey,
I
Jim.
also I do not believe in that rubble and that shoe sole, that rubber sole from a shoe they found on that island at all. I think that was planted.
It could have been. I don't know.
There's a single bound.
Woo! Up in the sky.
Once you announce
Uh,
any
this is
historical
great.
finding,
It's Superman.
Superman.
he's got a much shorter cape.
Yes.
No American way yet,
No.
and
that
no
doesn't
mild
come out
mannered.
until the war.
And he's not mild mannered. He's just Daily Planet reporter.
We just Daily Planet. Yeah. I wonder why they
Again,
Teague. I wonder why they changed it for the live action when they went to George Reeves and those other two ladies that played Lois. Phyllis Coates, I believe, was one of them, and then there was the other one.
I think Phyllis Coates was one, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
she
say
was
Germ
one of them.
probably just nailed it. I think Germ is right. As the war rolls along, and remember, even this is kind of like, this is good animation, but Batman 43 is like a poverty row movie in need of money that wouldn't have happened without the war money.
Yes.
And it runs throughout a big chunk of the war.
Oh yeah.
I often wonder how young George Takei felt watching that in his government accommodations. I don't have pleasant memories of Batman. What am I supposed to say? I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I'm using the most coded talk
I
I
never
can.
heard it put that way. Government accommodations.
Wait, was
What am I
George?
supposed to say?
That was a good one, Tig. I gotta say that was
Thank
a
you.
very good one.
Teague,
Oh,
Teague,
that's
was George Takei right? His parents were they in the California one or in the Arizona one, which was Papago Park? It's now Papago Park.
I'm
but
not
you-
sure.
All right, I just
believe
don't know, but I will
California.
tell you this.
Here's in
He-
California. Okay.
when he
He was born
shows
in
up for a
California.
ceremony, I would say California too. When he shows up for like a
California makes
remembrance
sense.
ceremony, he'll go
Yeah.
to either one. There's pictures of him at both monuments. And until like
Yeah.
10 years ago, he was fairly cool and had forgiven his country because it had been so good to him after that. But now he's back to being a bitter jerk.
Yeah. And he still hates Bill Shatner.
So he's got the whole hate thing going again. It sounds like now.
He's
You know,
hated William
It's
Shatner
kind
for
of sad,
years.
isn't it?
It
It's
is.
like,
It's
you know-
not a grudge like that.
The
Yeah.
guy
that's
should
how-
just
did-
like relax and enjoy the money he made off of the fucking movies and forget about fucking Shatner. Like, fuck.
And I'm a little angry at his nephew or whoever it was who showed him, like, if you open up this app on your phone, Pop, you can tweet out any crazy shit you want. You can say whatever you. It's like, oh, really? Oh my.
Really?
Oh yeah,
wow.
there's a lot of crazy shit on. There's a lot of crazy shit on Twitter. That's for sure.
Hey, the police are
oh
actually being
my
effective
God.
for once.
Whee!
Hey, there you go.
He might be the first person to get lost in social media.
Yeah.
We got why this is about our fourth mad scientist here. I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically, you need to be a mad scientist to construct any technology or rivalry to Superman.
That's
We
right.
haven't had like a second set of Kryptonians yet. I don't know when people come up with that.
Or Lex
also
Luthor yet. There's no Lex
We
Luthor,
s-
so
We
you know.
sort of saw Lex Luthor, and every mad
These
scientist we see
Scientists
is
are
another
what
step.
become Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. But they
And
He
there
didn't
he
become
is,
a
Perry
businessman
White.
until the 80s.
Hey, is that Perry?
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be Perry White? I'm guessing.
I think would
Yeah.
Gene
Yeah.
Hackman be considered a businessman, or is he just he's just a really sophisticated thug?
He's
no, I would
just a
consider him
criminal.
a criminal,
A genius
criminal
criminal,
businessman,
so
a genius criminal.
More based
businessman.
off of these guys than based off of the CEO type.
He'd be like Roddy McDowell when he was in Batman series as the Bookworm, except he's a bit more sophisticated.
I remember not a confrontation, but a conversation between a really huge and built Lex Luthor and Superman in the animated series, where he's like, you've got to knock off the crime, Luthor. And he's like, I employ 2/3 of this city. What if I just leave and let everyone not have a job? Would you like that, Superman? And Superman's kind of like, Maybe
Yeah,
I gotta
interesting.
rethink this.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's
want
like,
to play
crime's
like
at an all-time low, quality of life's at an all-time high. My modern buildings have made life great for everyone. And Superman's like, yeah, you're still sketch though.
yeah.
You're
Yeah,
watching
that's
you.
around the beginning.
I have
Ooh.
to say, yeah, I have to say that the latest one, the one that's going through the multiverse, oh damn it, what's the name of that actor that's playing him right now, like the young Lex Luthor?
Timothy Chalamet. Oh, that's the
No,
next
no,
Superman. Sorry. Has he been
no.
announced yet? Timothy Chalamet from Dune will be Superman.
He'll be Superman. Okay, Timothy. No,
I
but
feel
I mean,
that that's the physique they want to show off for Superman, so people don't feel left out.
yeah, no, but who was the actor? He was in the last Superman. He's like, oh yeah,
Henry
that guy.
Cavill.
No. It was who played Lex Luthor's nephew in the fourth one, in the Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Who was that actor? Because now he's
Hackman.
not Hackman. It was a Cryer. That's it, John Cryer. John Cryer played his nephew in the fourth one, and now John Cryer's playing a young Lex Luthor in the CW as a, going through the multiverse, trying to get rid of Superman that way and all these other heroes. Yeah, John Cryer. I was like, oh, that's ironic.
They did that with the Penguin, like Paul Rubens, the Penguin's father, in Gotham.
Right. Yeah, in
He
Gotham.
reprises the role.
He did, yeah. Wow.
Next to bad guy and evil henchman, Jada Pinkett Smith, known as Fish Mooney.
Fish Mooney. Yep. Yeah, but I have to say that it wasn't right for Halle Berry to play Catwoman. That was not right. That was not right. I don't know why, but it just didn't seem right.
Just, I have
movie.
a theory. Yeah, the story fucking sucked.
Well, of
And
course.
Benjamin Bratt's not exactly a leading man.
Oh no, he's not.
Dating Julia Roberts does not make you a leading man. That just makes you
Hello?
enviable.
Yeah, the same mistake was made by Rennie Harlan when he tried to date, that other lady from Thelma and Louise, not Sarandon, the other one. God, I'm having terrible memory issues today.
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gina Davis was pretty hot in her day, I gotta say.
Yeah, she was, but her hubby Rennie Harlan messed her up in Cutthroat Island, ruined her career practically. Yeah, thanks, Rennie. Thanks a lot.
Oh well, it is what it is.
There you get mild manner newspaper reporter.
Mild manner.
There we go.
It's called mild mannered finally.
Now that totally looks like Manhattan. That is absolutely supposed to be Manhattan.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
Metropolis was always based on Manhattan.
It is.
Well, basically,
yeah, I heard someone reviewing Superman the other day, and they were like clueless on this one. They got their wires crossed. So like Metropolis is supposed to be Toronto, and I'm like, no, you're confusing the fact that they used Toronto to film.
What the fuck? I've obviously never seen Toronto.
Some people make the mistake because Superman's first franchise, the Christopher Reeve movies use Toronto as Metropolis. That's where that came from.
Expand on the cartoons and the Adventures of Superman show Panic in the Sky, where Superman stops and an asteroid temporarily and gets amnesia.
I guess for the asteroid hit him. It hit him and gave him amnesia temporarily.
Hey there, Fed. And we'll see you, Jim.
Take care.
Lois Lane has broken away from flying since that has not worked out 4 straight times, and now she's got a boat.
How does she afford this?
Oh, well, it is Manhattan, and they just called it Manhattan.
That's cool. Now, wait, if Metropolis is Manhattan, then what about Gotham? Isn't Gotham also New York City? I mean, come on.
I always thought Gotham was
is
New York.
Detroit. No, Gotham's like Detroit or Chicago. It's not. It's supposed to be like the second nicest city in their area,
Yeah.
right? It's
Back
it's
in
supposed to be
those
kind of a
days.
mess.
No, they're both East Coast.
Maybe
Yeah.
not so much now, but
People in Detroit consider themselves East Coast because they're the farthest west point on the Eastern time zone.
Well, they're wrong.
Dumb.
I agree with you, but I've talked to a few Michiganders and they're like, no, we're on the East Coast. And I'm like, East Coast of what? Lake Erie?
So T, tell me, since Timothy Chalamet's going to be the next Superman, what happens to Cavill? Does that mean he's still in the running for John?
Oh, they
I
already
think he's
fired
just
him.
gonna do Warhammer. And I'm only kidding about Timothy Chalamet. I mean, if you've seen how he's built, it's like he's a pipe cleaner, man.
Yeah.
That's the type they want to encourage in Hollywood nowadays, though.
That is why I said it.
Yeah, that's why he said it.
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet.
Well, I wouldn't at all be shocked if they want to demasculate Superman as well, because they want to fuck everything else up. So
Well,
God.
freaking Lois walked around with his nuts in a change purse through those Snyder movies. He just didn't save anyone but her for 5 straight movies. Of his 35 rescues in those movies, 35 of 35 are Lois.
that's
If you want to get Superman's attention,
one.
but think about it, like he's got his super hearing set to listen to Lois's heart, but he's not paying any attention to his mom. So like Lois gets a little bit nonplussed and she's flustered. Superman's like there stalking people down, but you put a machine gun to his mother's head and he's like, nope, just going about my day. A lot of Wizard of Oz, Frankenstein-y looking stuff,
yeah,
huh?
right. Well, having amnesia, he asks Jimmy of Superman's
Okay.
costume, gives Superman his powers. He then goes to try to divert the asteroid completely, and second contact restores his memory. Okay, I guess that makes sense to him.
Sounds like they're starting to form the
Yeah.
idea for kryptonite with that too. They're like, maybe
I think they
asteroids will
are,
have
yeah.
a magical power over them. And of course, this guy, this
Give me a
bad
little
guy,
bit of
this episode's bad guy would be presented as correct today.
You know, and
He's
the
a
thing about
gentleman.
I was going to say the thing about Superman 3 is I can't hate Richard Pryor for coming up with tar to make the kryptonite, because he said, well, the damn thing's unknown. I don't know what this unknown material is. So he throws tar in there like for cigarettes and shit. And that screwed up Superman too, even though it didn't like hurt him or kill him, but made him split into 2 people. I'm like, wow, okay. Some innovative ways, I guess. It just, Yeah, Vaughn is classic when he says, I asked you to do one simple thing and you couldn't kill him. You couldn't kill Superman. I asked you to do one simple thing.
I wouldn't think killing Superman was a simple thing. It'd probably be pretty tough.
Well,
Yeah.
simple and easy are not related, right? Simple.
Yeah, no, they're
like,
not
it's-
simple. Yeah.
It's very simple not to be a heroin addict, but tell a heroin addict how to do it, and it's very simple. They're going to fail every time.
Yeah.
To like get cleaned up and like with help.
Or
They're
like
very
most
simple. Just stop.
alcoholics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just very simple. Don't buy alcohol. Don't open the bottle. Don't put it in your mouth. Don't consume it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, right. It's easy. Sure.
Well, no, it's very hard, but it's simple.
Yeah, well, yeah. I know what you mean by simple and easy to you. It makes total sense. Yeah, I'm just saying. It took me a while to get out of my thing. So. But thank God for Suzanne. I've been clean sober for 8 years. I love it. 9 years now. So, yeah.
Well, another
He's
mad
taking a lot of heavy
scientist.
shots.
Another mad scientist is just about to bite the big one here.
Now
And
this
Lois
man
will get-
scientist again.
Lois will get rescued once again for like the 18th millionth time.
Yeah, we're 6 for 6 on that. Let's just make this clear. The villain in this movie is of a persuasion where you would not be able to name, say, a baseball or football team after a pejorative, perceived pejorative of his ethnicity. He's a Cleveland Guardian type of guy.
Yeah.
Think Washington Football Club on this bad guy. And his
Yeah.
quote, unreasonable demand is something that people kind of accept today as like his demand was unreasonable, but his logic was kind of not that kooky. It was like, you guys stole this land from my people. We deserve something for it. And he's like, and they're like, you're out of your mind.
Hold your breath, Lois. Hold your breath.
Yeah, we've
And
seen
you know,
Superman seems to need oxygen in this iteration because he was kind of struggling underwater.
yeah. You also notice that Lois gets kind of a reprieve. She gets like a few extra seconds before she's supposed to meet certain doom. You know, uh, like with the three Kryptonian criminals. Before they're released from the Phantom Zone, and this nuclear bomb is supposed to drop her.
You
And
talking about? Are you talking about in Man of Steel where she kills 3 Kryptonian soldiers in 1 minute with a weapon she's never used, seen, or has any familiarity with before?
no, no,
and
no,
she
no, no, no,
nails them
no,
all
no,
in
no,
one
no,
shot.
no.
Okay.
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the second one, Superman 2, where she's on the Eiffel Tower and the nuclear bomb is set off and it's getting ready to explode. She's going down and here comes Superman just in the nick of time. I always thought that Lois Lane got a few extra seconds of life before she got rescued. I don't know if
If
that's
she
fair.
dies, he's only going to rewind time anyway.
Yeah, right. But I didn't
Well,
think that was fair.
you always have to give any necessary seconds because Superman always has to rescue Lois, right? Like that's just an unstated, rule of Superman. Gotta always save
Absolutely.
Lois.
Well,
But
and
we're doing it
that's
at the expense
yeah.
of him acting. We're doing it at the expense of him acting like Superman, like Snyder did. We saw an entire building come down. We know Superman could make a difference in that, but he's like right off to help out Lois. He's like, oh, well, looks like the city's coming down. Let me go
Yeah,
help Lois.
he's gotta always save Lois.
And
Yeah.
he's got what we Italians would call a cappuccino, a smaller cape.
A cappuccino.
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 Can I tell you? So secret we only tell others in La Cosa Nostra.
Yeah, my college roomie was a Sicilian. Oh boy, I could tell you stories about Sicilians and Italians, man.
Was he a made man?
I think he was. I think he just kept it to himself. Yeah, I think he kept it to himself. The one time he did reveal to me, look, Mikey, he said, if anybody gives you trouble, all you have to do is tell me. I make one phone call and it'll all disappear. I was like,
And I'll just
okay.
they'll conveniently end up in the car trunk somewhere, and that'll be the last time you hear about them.
Yeah, exactly. No, in this case, he might have thrown him into a canal, but who knows?
That'd be a handy friend to have, actually. Because I wouldn't. There might be 1 or 2 people I wouldn't mind, mentioning.
Does anybody know what the NYPD calls the Verrazano Bridge?
What do they call it?
The Papua New Guinea gangplank.
Oh.
The G gangplank.
They used to call the Brooklyn. Yeah, they used to call the Brooklyn Bridge the dumping ground. I never understood why that was, but then when I found out, I was like, oh wow, oh okay. Well, what did you think they did? What did you think the Las Vegas guys did to the gangsters? In Las Vegas, they dumped them in Lake Mead. They're still finding bodies when it was down to a trickle. When we were there was no water in there, and stuff. So,
You mean now?
Yeah, now. Yeah. They're still finding bodies in there.
What was that? Lake Tahoe? What lake?
No, Lake Mead.
No, it's the lake behind
Mead,
the Hoover the lake behind the Hoover Dam.
The lake behind the Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
When they were having
completely man-made.
When they had lack of water issues and it was like down to a trickle and they started finding bodies and I was like,
wow,
well, is that a surprise? Come on. I mean,
let's call them what they were, skeletal remains from decades past.
Skeletal remains.
Oh, look, Gorilla, it's your grandpa.
That's right.
Yeah, look, Gorilla.
Hey, Gorilla's grandpa. Right on.
We have to combine all tropes about New York. So, of course, New York has a raging gorilla that just runs around.
Well, we got a raging gorilla on the panel here. He's muted. He's muted at the moment, though, so he's not so much raging as quiet.
He's a silverback. He's attained great wisdom with his years.
He does. He does. And he's a
Right
great
now,
dad.
Gorilla's busy. He's using handmade tools to fish for termites.
It
That's what
was.
Gorilla's doing.
Hey,
Nobody's a
Gorilla,
great dad. He really does love
we're
his
really
kids.
enjoying this episode with your, distant ancestor in here.
It's kind of
You're not,
all
you,
of our distant
you're not
ancestor, right?
Cody's ancestor.
Right. Our cousin, his grandfather.
Right. Yeah, well, don't forget in the Super Friends when he gets the Legion of Doom. Don't forget that gorilla. That's one of his relatives too.
The Kong music.
Yeah.
The music is great.
Yeah. Hey, Germ, who
No,
wrote
you know
the
why he's
music?
pissed off? He got passed up for the role of King Kong, and he got stuck in that
that's it.
circus.
Oh,
Yep,
shit.
that's true. God darn it.
Yeah, King Kong was his gateway to stardom, and he didn't get the job. Shit. He's like, oh, fuck me. I ended up in this fucking Superman cartoon. Oh, shit. I gotta talk to my agent. I got a banana to peel with my agent, buddy.
It's on the waterfront with gorillas. I could have been Kong. I could have been somebody.
But they ended
been
King
a
Kong too
contender.
early. I mean, the man fell off an Empire State Building. Come on.
Should we have should we have, and we can have what's his name, Denham, Carl Denham could be there to fire him. It's like, listen, Kong, I'm sorry, but we've decided to go in a different direction.
Yeah, but T,
Not you.
which Carl Denham? I think I'd rather choose Jack Black.
I'm going to say at this point we only have one Carl Denham, right? And he's in one of the earliest sequels, really, that isn't serialized.
Right.
Not directly, that it's not that direct, but he finds another pretty big monkey.
Anybody going to guess that Lois is going to get saved again? I'm just saying, but
you know, PvP, you're being very unfair. Microwaves hadn't been invented yet to do spectacular stuff like they do in the Flash. You're not going to get Flashpoint quality story.
Oh man, these
No
cartoons are so
Flashpoints
awesome.
Oh man.
Oh shit, everything's on fire now. Oh no.
Oh no.
We're all
The
screwed.
gorilla is a pretty good pugilist to be keeping up with Superman.
Yeah, I gotta say, Gorilla's grandfather's putting up a good fight here.
Is it Gorilla's grandfather, or is it just baseball player Barry Bonds?
Well, we just need Gorilla to
write it out,
confirm or
right?
not confirm, but he's been silent lately, so.
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez wasn't alive yet. It can't be him.
We're even no.
Okay, where's
I don't
Lois?
think
We
it
got to
was Barry
save
Bonds
Lois.
because you couldn't even have steroids back then yet. So
They had him.
There goes
Yeah, you
Lois,
gotta save
and he
Lois.
saved her.
Yeah.
And he saved
Sorry?
Lois for the 18th
But
millionth time. There
sometimes,
you go.
like Lois, yeah, but sometimes Lois Lane can be very annoying.
Always annoying.
I don't know. Do you,
Oh,
do you
she's
want to
always
save
annoying,
Lois
but-
sometimes?
But Superman has the huge
Yeah,
hots
always.
for her, so he's always going to save her
Yeah.
because he's
How many
thinking, one of
people
these
in this
days,
Yeah, they had that
One
side
of
fight
these
with the
days-
Panther.
How many
one of
times has
these days,
Superman
me and
neglected
Lois
to
are going to
save
get
people?
together and settle down and have some fun.
How many other people have been
They did
sacrificed
that
to just
already
go
with the
save
Superman
Lois when
Returns.
she's in minor?
Oh, he saved everyone in the circus. Locked up
Hey,
all
we've
the
got
cats.
a lot different opening credits here. Now we're talking openly about Action Comics.
Yeah.
As we've gone through these, each one has made slightly more sense and been a little less rough than the one before, but the art's been good the whole time.
Yeah.
From the planet Krypton.
Now remember, in real life, you've
Truth
traveled.
and justice are getting close.
Now, in real life, we've traveled through half of high school watching these cartoons, right? In order of release.
Oh man, these cartoons are awesome. Fuck, I love these things. I never forget the first time I saw them. I was like, holy shit, these Fleischer brothers knew what they were fucking doing, man.
Why is Superman sort of in on the scam here? What was the purpose of that?
Uh-oh. Oh, this can't be real Superman, can it? Like, is this a Superman imposter?
Is that Perry White hanging out at home?
Well, no. The Superman imposter was originally Bizarro, right? Yeah, Bizarro was a Superman.
That is not
imposter.
Superman.
I thought originally. I don't remember him being like
I knew it was
an
a, I knew
earlier
it was
comeback,
an
though.
imposter.
Yeah, no, I believe you, but I'm just saying I don't remember anybody else but Bizarro. Yeah.
This
I
Perry
just
White looked
remember
like.
Bizarro
No, that's
being
not
that,
Perry White. That
ultimate
he looks like
Superman.
Edward G. Robinson. That dude.
You have to admit, Edward G. Robinson played great gangsters for
He
sure.
looks like Edward G. Robinson. They must have modeled him after Edward G.
Yeah. Well, I always remember growing up and watching Edward G. Robinson playing.
He was great.
gangsters.
Awesome actor. Like, damn good
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah, he did a lot of good stuff. He did actually
yeah.
do some sci-fi movies too, believe it or not.
Did he?
Yeah, he
Well,
did.
he did Soylent Green was his last movie, wasn't it?
That's right, yes. And that's like a
Yeah.
science fiction movie, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I actually saw that in the theater when I was, young, and I
gotta
remember
give
that
it to
he was
Robinson.
really good in that movie.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to Robinson, man. He in the movie before that, he curses out God and gets away with it for a little while. Gives Moses a hard time through the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about 10 Commandments.
Yeah,
I
for
guess.
10 Commandments, yeah.
That I saw that movie. I was like 10 years old. They had the Saturday matinees, back then for kids. I paid 50 cents. I walk in. I had no idea what the fucking 10 Commandments was. I had never heard of it, right? Because I was like an ignorant child, right? I walk in. I put my 50 cents down. I walk in. 3.5 hours or whatever, 10 Commandments. I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit! This movie's fucking amazing. And it's like Edward G. and Vincent Price and all the great actors in it. It's like, holy crap, what a great movie!
Yeah,
and then of course the part of the Red Sea, and I was like, holy shit.
I love that the bad guy from ancient Egypt had a Chicago accent. I'm like,
Moses, great. Yul Brenner was fucking awesome in that movie. God, what a guy!
Oh
what an
my
actor.
God, Yul Brenner.
So
You're talking about a
Yeah.
physique, like man, that guy was built back in the day, right? Like, wow.
He died
Awesome
young from
movie.
smoking 4
Awesome
packs of
movie.
cigarettes a day, too.
No,
How
that's
did he
what
manage
killed
to
him,
work out so
unfortunately.
much?
but-
Wow.
This
yeah.
cartoon was also revised in the Adventures of
Visited.
Superman. The face and voice were commercial as plastic surgery, and a voice coach teaches him to talk like Superman.
Just in the face
We've
of
seen-
voice. Yeah.
Replacing Superman with a fake Superman's happened a couple of times. For a while there, Lois Lane's father was able to crank them out. He was cranking out fake Superman.
Yeah, he
Were they
was.
robots?
I don't know.
Was
Androids,
it
maybe?
PEDs? He might have just given them PEDs.
Maybe. But they never compared. I mean, if you look and you've seen the real Superman, there was no comparison, right? I mean,
Yeah.
other than in facial appearance recognition, yeah.
I think
but I
there's
mean, as far as
cyborgs for that one.
yeah, they were just cyborgs. Yeah, they were just robots.
In Lois and Clark? Yeah. I knew there was something going on with them. And they somehow had an association with Lois's father, who is sometimes a mad scientist.
He
Yeah.
is. Though you
Head
have to admit,
scientist, military general, they keep bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, this is an exact likeness
though
of
I will admit
Robinson.
that Terry Hatcher
He
is one
looks
of the
pretty
better
close,
Lois
yeah.
Lanes. She absolutely was.
There's
I
only
love
been
Terry
one
Hatcher
good-looking Lois Lane, and
in
it's
that
her.
series.
None of the other Lois Lanes have been all that attractive. Original Lois, I guess she had an okay body, but she was pretty
Yeah.
unattractive.
Does he actually think the trap door is going to screw Superman up?
She's
Like,
okay.
fuck. That ain't going to face Superman.
Well, he ain't really flying yet, though. Notice he's climbing.
Yeah.
So, like, We got to wonder if even Superman knows the limit of his upper limit now, you know?
Well, he's gonna take care of the bad guy in any second now, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I wonder.
Wow,
If,
crazy jump cuts.
Yeah, I wonder.
Hey, those bars,
if,
electrified or not, ain't gonna stop Superman.
I was gonna say, I
There
wonder
you go.
if Terry Hatcher thought that she was going to actually look better than Margot Kidder, with 4 movies she did, and then Terry Hatcher does the whole series.
I hate to say this, but Margot Kidder looked like what she was, a crack-smoking maniac.
And you're being kind. I think you're being very kind. She did a lot more than that. She partied with John Belushi, for Christ's sake. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I guess Margot kind of fucked herself up with all that shit, didn't she?
Oh, man. She got lucky.
I gotta say though, in the first Superman movie, she didn't look too bad. She was definitely looking doable.
She's supposed to be gettable. She's not supposed to be inattainable.
Right.
You're supposed to relate to the idea that Superman would like her. It's it's not really supposed to be Kim Basinger would be a bad Lois Lane.
She was decent looking in the early movies, but then she got fucked up. So
I think she was always had problems. I don't know how she got that role.
She had a lot of psychological issues too, didn't she? I mean, from what I've read.
We don't know, right? I mean, she was freebasing, man. I mean, do we even?
Well, no, but I mean, she was mentally kind of fucked up, right? So.
But did they prove that before or after she admitted to freebasing? Because you know what I mean? She could have been normal and then done that.
It doesn't really matter anymore since she's no longer around and alive, so it really doesn't matter.
Tell that to Gil Gerard. Thank you. I'm here all week. Please tip your waiter.
Oh, is this the first one? This must be the first one because it just says Superman. Oh no. Now it's got the fucking title. Finally, they are apparently out of sequence, but the first one we saw had his whole backstory. It took them 1 minute to tell it, but it had his whole backstory. Yeah, these are out of sequence, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. I think the first one we saw was still the very first one, and then after that, I think they're kind of going by genre.
Was made
quite like they're kind of mixed, but I don't really care. They're all great, so I don't give a shit.
They recycled that shot from the last cartoon, but it's really good. So we're recycling shots at episode 7. Oh no, this is the introduction. So this is the same every time. Yeah. Sorry, my bad, guys.
I still like the music from the
I love the music.
I love the live action music from George.
I think the music in these full Fleischer cartoons is great too.
Well, Max Fleischer, I like Max Fleischer. Fleischer. Yeah, I'm trying to say
Did anyone see Hollywoodland with Adrian Brody and Ben Affleck?
I have not seen that one.
Yes,
it's really weird. He plays the actor who plays Superman, so he's dressed up in the Superman costume a lot in the movie.
Wow!
And then fast forward like 10 years in Man of Steel. Batman vs Superman. He goes and saves Superman's mother, who's his girlfriend from Hollywoodland, Diane Lane.
Yes, that's ironic, man.
I was waiting for it to be like, you look kind of familiar. Do you think that Ma Kent? What do you think it was like with that Ma Kent, like and Superman? It's like, so Mom, when are you gonna have dinner? Oh, I guess when your father gets home. Oh, that's right, you let him be destroyed by that tornado. I guess dinner will be whenever you want. There's no one else here.
Yeah, you know what? I actually kind of like Kevin Costner playing that dad in that one, his dad. I thought he was
fucking despicable, horrible human being who should have had his children taken away from him, but okay.
Maybe.
Can I have let all those kids die? Yeah. Fuck you.
Oh, damn it.
And you did not need superpowers to save him from that tornado. That movie was so poorly shown, poorly done.
It was poorly written, actually. I think it was poorly written. I have to say though,
you can't. The dialogue is really shit.
Yeah.
The dialogue is real shit. But I don't know about the story. I don't know about the story because for the first hour and 35 minutes of that movie, we just sort of march in place, and then the last half hour, everything happens. So it might be Snyder's fault.
It could be.
Although Chris Terrio not working a lot these days after producing those turkeys.
Wow. Yeah.
But I wrote the Rise of Skywalker. I wrote BVS. We're looking for someone with experience writing Superman. I wrote Man of Steel. Yeah, we're looking for someone who has
I don't
experience
think
writing
they
for
found anybody.
Superman.
Yeah.
In Man of Steel, he's like super Hilter. The only way to put it. Massive collateral
I have
damage,
to
man.
say though, Superman for the Quest for Peace was a dud, but it was 10 times better than Man of. Yeah, but 10 times better than Man of Steel. You have to admit that, T. You know,
I don't know
fourth
which
one,
one's shorter. Which one's
Uh-oh.
shorter?
Quest
That's
for
the winner.
Peace was a dud, but 10
Uh-oh.
times better than Man of Steel.
Well, let's
Man of
just
Steel's 2
trouble
hours and
again.
25 minutes. How long is Superman
The
for?
fourth one is shorter.
Then that one wins.
Superman 4 is less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours.
Superman 4
Yeah,
is crap.
Yeah, see
I hate that
Supergirl with
fucking
Helen
movie.
Slater.
Yeah, but it's better than Man of
Supergirl with
Steel.
Helen Slater's a little more entertaining. Oh, there's you would have to
93
work
minutes.
very hard.
The
to make
only
that.
thing good
Thank
about
you.
Superman 4 is Christopher Reeve got paid some money to fucking do it. But other than that, I was like, what the fuck?
Even he said that movie
Yeah.
was a bridge too far, and he was wrong to do it. He apologized.
Yeah, the only
That's
good
when
thing is
actors-
he got a paycheck. But other than that, fuck that movie.
And also he
Horrible.
kind of completed the winning of our hearts and being our Superman by saying that it was
Oh,
a bad movie and
love
saying he
Christopher
wanted a
Reeve.
better Superman in the future. Yeah, he was great. Just a great guy.
He's my Superman forever. Like the first 2 films, especially, those are really good films.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the
2 might
first
be
film
better than
totally
1.
got the mythology of Superman so right. The first third of that movie, you know, the first one in 1977 or 8 or whatever it was, absolutely nailed the mythology of Superman for me. Because I grew
Well,
up
then
reading the
fast
fucking comics, right?
Well, you know
Fast forward
what's-
to Man of Steel. Zack Snyder doesn't even know how Superman shaves.
Yeah.
We see him pull a piece off of his ship and make a razor out of it. I'm like, maybe just bounce your X-ray vision off the mirror like you do in like the comic books and every other movie.
Well, the only way he could shave would be to, like, you know, do with his heat ray or something, right? Because there's
Yeah.
no razor blade.
He shaves
no
with his X-ray
razor
vision.
blade. No
Yeah,
razor
you can
blade's
shave
going
with
to cut
his X-ray
Superman's
vision.
beard because he's invulnerable,
We
right?
get that.
We see it a lot.
Yeah.
They love to show it in the cartoon, especially the animated series. He'll look in the mirror. He'll kind of like intensify his gaze. The laser vision will start, and he'll like perfectly shave off the beard, and he'll just like rub his face and grin and walk away.
That's the way to do it.
And I was going to say to you, PvP, that I think the first 2 Supermans really work because it is a part of a new story arc. I mean, it goes right from the first one right to the second one, and it's just and
Wow,
it's
they're
just
gonna
perfect.
shoot off
I
Lois
mean,
Lane.
fluid and everything. So you know,
Well, they did film the first 2 together, right?
yeah, they did.
No,
yeah.
that's
Mike?
Yeah.
I don't think they could. Honestly, that team got in huge trouble for filming 2 movies at the same time
But
and
I
only
think they
paying
filmed a
people for
lot of
one.
the second one when they were doing the first one, from everything I've ever read. But
There may have been. The thing is that that team, the Donner team, they couldn't screw around after what they did, or they would have been thrown out of Hollywood. They made the 3 Musketeers and the 4 Musketeers at the same time. Did
Yeah.
not tell the cast, and made 2 movies and only paid them for 1. So that was a huge problem.
Yeah, that was pretty
And
big.
they were-
yeah.
And they were looking at getting kicked out of Hollywood, and so they had to calm down. And you know, it used to be people had some standards. JJ and his people screw everyone all the time, and no one's gotten the idea yet.
Yeah, they're not aware
And
of it.
they not only
Yeah.
screw the production team, they screw the audience as well.
The production
That's true.
team can get work elsewhere. It's the cast that really gets burned because what do? They throw out 1 mediocre first season.
Right.
Then they immediately scapegoat the fans and say, because we're so mean, it's going to take twice as long to make it. The actors are
Right.
they're now tied up for twice as long, making half as much money. And they can't do anything else because the production just starts out of nowhere and stops out of nowhere when they raise enough money from political donors.
Yeah, really.
It's sad. I feel bad for the obnoxious actress on the actress is not obnoxious. The
Yeah.
character is in Strange New Worlds. Like, I have pity
is sad.
for Melissa Navia. They were so cruel to her. First, they made her quit her other show because they couldn't organize their production. And then the day after her boyfriend dies, they're like, okay, back to work. That's what you need to take your mind off this. And they force her to go on Twitter and say she
Wow.
loves doing it. Yeah, she looked like a hostage. She's like, I'm looking forward to seeing my castmates, getting on with my life. It's like, I don't want to just stay home in Ireland and get over this.
Yeah, that's pretty much cruelty to an actress. If that isn't cruelty, I don't know. I don't know what you else.
Yeah, Hollywood's
Echo's pretty
fucked
cruel.
up.
Echo's pretty cruel. She said, please give me time to lose this weight. And they're like, nope, this is our idea of beauty now.
Yeah.
Guys, grease the door to the commissary. We got a new Echo.
Whoa.
These are new animators, except for Sparber.
Yeah.
This is all new. It's different.
Yeah, it's cool.
The last one had this too.
Okay. I knew the
We're
beginning's
well
been the same.
into 42 now.
The visuals have been the same for most of it, but they've worked a little bit and tweaked the intro every couple of installments.
They got the backlight now.
Yep. Someone said they didn't want to do this, but they got paid a lot. At this point, they're like, we like money. Let's just make these Superman cartoons better. Some pretty good music.
Yeah, still is. Well, as PvP said, for me, Christopher Reeve is my movie Superman, and George Reeves was my, TV Superman growing up. So, those were my super guys.
I totally agree with what you just said there, Mikey. Yeah, for me too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no other kind. I mean, and how ridiculous.
We have a female villain this time.
Yay!
About time.
Yeah,
everyone kind of looks like a bad. Oh yeah. Every female looks like a bad riff on Snow White, like worse than Rachel Pigler.
Well, I noticed that. For example, Wonder Woman. Like, okay, she had that. What was that? Cheetah Woman, I guess. Cheetah. That was like her opposite, and then, when she did the live action with Linda Carter, it seemed like she was battling male villains all the time, and not like villainesses every once in a while. Except Linda Day George, who played a Nazi woman in one of the episodes. But I mean, it just, I don't know. It was just all about chauvinism, I guess. Mostly about most of the series I saw was kind of that way.
They couldn't get access to some of her characters for the Linda Carter one.
For like 2 years, she just fights German secret agents.
Right.
They're pretty worthy as far as on the bad guy scale goes.
True.
Yeah. But like Cheetah and some of the others, DC said no.
It gets, you know what? That last season is super weird too. Like everything's the same, but now it's 50 years later. It's like, what the hell?
I still think the Doomsday Computer, though, the thing that, it was still a good one. What the hell? Yeah, what happened? Oh my god. I was even watching the Bionic Woman yesterday, like parts of the first that one episode that introduced the fembots with Sir John Houseman, and I was like, God, even they look dated. I was like, okay. and that was a long time ago.
I don't think that show was meant for adults.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, even now I look at it and it looks dated, like every one of those episodes. Still better writing than most of the crap they put out today.
Yeah. Was limited though.
Yeah. Well,
They still
the
had that
stories.
bad taste of how Adam West's series went. It
Yeah.
started out great, but then that huge car wreck that it turned into,
Train
they
wreck.
got sort of, yeah.
Are we talking about the Family Guy or Batman?
We're just talking about the regular Batman series
I
with
know.
with West and Burt Ward, but yeah, total train wreck after the third season.
Made them a little bit conservative on their IPs.
Conservative. Wow. That's cool. Yeah. Good call, Germ. Conservative. That's true.
I think he's talking in a financial sense.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't so
It-
eager to they're okay having
Destroy.
the Linda Carter Wonder Woman series, but as for having full access to her character and stories, that's why you didn't see like Cheetah popping up a lot.
They
A lot
must
of
have been like,
villains and everything. So, no, you can't do that.
Well,
I
most of
think
the
at some
reason.
point someone must have said, "We've seen your leading lady, the current Miss Universe. We think that this show is probably going to be about her running around very slowly, and that's the way you should do it. One day there'll be a show called Baywatch that's got nothing else, but they didn't really listen."
Oh my god.
Well, that show was brutally short. It had a really long opening,
Yeah.
I'll be right
kind of
back.
like a porno movie.
Yeah, they almost made it a strip show, but not quite. It was conveniently placed so you didn't have to really say, "Oh, look, Pamela Sue Anderson is stripping." Woo! Yeah, no. They conveniently placed everything so it wouldn't be like obvious, you know.
We
You
got
see
our
them running
first
up on the
costume
beach.
bad guy, by the way.
Oh yeah, cool.
This is the first guy with a costume.
Oh nice. Yeah, I remember. It's I grew watching those up later on in Saturday morning cartoons when they had a show on us. I was living in Arizona at the time, and there was a show called the Wallace and Lamner Show, and they did some early Saturday morning cartoons with some of these early serials, and yeah, they're very cool. And I thought for the time, I'm like, wow, yeah, great animation, just early animation for that time. Yeah, I think that's why I appreciated Max Fleischer so much because he had such good animation. Then you had Tex Avery, then you had uh, you know Freeze Freeling, all of those guys, just great animation. Those are the masters, those guys.
This beginning's a little different too.
Yeah.
We're swapping out the animation team on every. Now they're really cranking these out. They got like 2 teams working on them.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah, T. Did you see later on the Batman and the Mask of the Phantasm? Did you ever see that one?
I've seen it. It's animated. I don't quite remember. It's been a really long time. It's from like 95.
Yeah. I thought it was one of the better films. I like the Batman. And you can't hate on Kevin Conroy. I mean, the guy was a genius. And I came to voice for him. So, of course, he's passed away now. Sad to say, but yeah. And then I found out later on that Mark Hamill was the voice of Joker for most of it, and I thought, are you fucking kidding me? Luke Skywalker's the voice of Joker. I was like, wow, okay, that's different. Yeah, but that was quite a revelation when I found that out. I was like, oh well, no wonder he did it so well. He's a character actor. That's what he's supposed to do. Uh, Now, Fleischer also worked on Popeye the Sailor Man, right? That was the other one he worked on. There was a number of them, but that's kind of one of the other ones I remember.
This might be the best looking one yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it is actually. So now, what's his? I don't quite understand. What's this mask guy's purpose? Just world domination, like just about everybody, or just taking over the city?
Well, there's always the several themes, right? It's either world domination, making as much, loot, get as much loot as
Yeah,
you
no
can,
one's tried to do
and
anything
get
but steal
super
so
rich.
far.
Yeah.
Right now, we're just dealing with like regular kind of crimes that are very understandable. No one's trying to steal uranium.
Or you got like a super weapon, like a big laser beam or some atomic shit,
Come
just
with me,
because you just want to
and
like
you will
use it.
see a world of pure imagination.
You can't hate on Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder was and is Willy Wonka. I don't care.
Gene Wilder was a damn good actor, I gotta say.
He was Willy Wonka. None of this Johnny Depp shit. Even though I love Johnny Depp, he was not Willy Wonka.
You know
I'm
what?
sorry.
Johnny Depp, I thought started strong, and he's been coasting on his fucking reputation for too many years, and it's like, fuck Johnny Depp.
There you go.
Yeah, if he had a scandal like a divorce or something, it would probably end him.
It probably would.
Well, didn't he
Right,
have
right on
something
the
close
he's
to
right
that?
on the knife's edge. Yeah. Hopefully, thankfully, he stayed out of trouble. Yeah.
That was good sarcasm, Jake.
And he's about
You're
to
welcome.
make the mouse pay a king's ransom for him.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
That's the most important part.
Well, when Johnny Depp died for me as an actor is when he did that horrible Dark Shadows film. Like, fuck me. Because I love the TV series, but that Dark Shadows film sucked dick. It was horrible.
Keep watching the TV series. There's like late seasons that are really terrible, and they bring it back like when they shouldn't have, when he's like million years old. It's like ageless vampire Barnabas looks like 40 years older in just 10 years.
Well, I'd rather watch that than that damn movie. That movie was garbage.
When you're Johnny Depp and Tim Burton calls, you just go and do it and see if it works out again. It's a good payday.
You wanted
He's
the
your
paycheck.
friend.
Yeah, you wanted the paycheck.
I think it was friendship. Honestly, friendship probably did it to him. He's friends with Burton.
Yeah.
Just
I
wanted
still,
to
think
do his movie.
I still think they totally fucked it up because they didn't get Dark Shadows right at all.
They tried to make it campy, right?
Fuck
Yeah,
it, way too campy. That was the problem.
Yeah, now T, would that work for you?
I mean,
would that work for you if you brought Tarantino back to do a Star Trek movie? Would that work for you?
He's the one who refused it. I talked to Tom Connors on this one. I actually asked him about it. After Tarantino looked at what the wreck they had made of Star Trek, he said no. And that's why they're bashing him. They're trying to shame him into doing the movie because no one wants to see it. And he's like, I've seen what you've done with your weekly stories. I've watched, Star Trek Discovery. And if I even make a movie for you, you're going to subvert. Well, he was right. He said to them, if I make a movie for you, you're going to somehow edit it messed up or take control away, or you're going to destroy it in the show by undermining what I did. So I don't want to make a movie. And they're like, but you can kill off the whole Kelvin crew. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I'll hard pass on that one. I'm not going to make my last movie this. I'm going to look around for something better because he says he only has 3 or 4 left in him.
Well,
that's cool. You talked to him about that.
He has integrity, so I can respect that.
And they stole his ideas, so you'll get to see it done really fucking badly.
Well, I won't be paying money to watch any of that shit. I gave up
No one will
on
really
Trek a
have to.
long time ago. Hey, I
The
actually
ne-
went to
the-
the theater and saw Into Darkness with my cousin because he really wanted to go and see it badly. And I spent
That was the final
15
moment.
minutes. After 15
Yep.
minutes, I
When they
was
jump
looking
off
at
the
my
cliff,
watch.
when they jumped off the cliff, the franchise went with it.
Fucking
I was like,
right.
okay, there's no fixing this now. There's absolutely no fixing this now. And then like all of a sudden, like they changed the rules of the transporter for one joke, and it's just like, oh my god, they have no respect for it. What next? They're out of parents to kill. So then they set up Pike very quickly as surrogate father so they can kill him. He's like basically gets fridged in that movie.
After all that, he burns the story.
Yeah.
He cares more about us than he does about money and fame.
He
He's
just
not
knows who's
audacious
going to
about it.
screw him over.
That's true. That's true too. It looks like the war has begun, and we've got movies made for the war. Look for the Army Signal Corps logo. See if it's up there.
I think what really killed it for him was where they decided to inject a tribble with his blood.
That was after
That was
other
like a
problems.
stab.
That movie had been so dumb for so long. By the time that happened, I'm like, of course.
Had to be a tribble.
Was anybody surprised by that point? Honestly, was anybody
No,
surprised by
I
that
probably
point?
wasn't.
We swapped
No,
out
I probably wasn't.
the most.
I probably wasn't. Yeah.
We swapped out the most.
Yeah, crazy.
The opening narration is now almost 100% what we recognize.
Yeah, for the
That's
most
so
part.
cool. Yeah.
They added the mild-mannered part. That might be the first time on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need the American flag and truth, justice, in the American way.
Truth, justice, in the American way. Ta-da!
My guess would be that because no one knew the situation for about 12 weeks after Pearl Harbor, a lot of these were made with a pre-war attitude and were sitting around in time for the war. But this one seems to have, since he's a secret agent, let's see. It's like Batman and Batman 43. He's like actually working for the government. He's got like a badge and he's like, I grabbed these 3 stray Japanese people while I was driving through San Francisco. Gave them to the FBI.
Wow.
That's in there.
Yeah.
It's also where Snyder got that branding of the criminals from.
Really? Wow.
He had an ink pad stamp so the cops would know. He would handcuff you to like a street sign, put the bat symbol on your head with an ink stamp, and call the cops. Like literally just walk over to a phone and call the cops.
This one
Right.
was slightly before the war. It's the end of July 43. Or it's 43, so yeah, it's already.
Oh, we're into the war.
Yeah, we're into
We're
the war,
starting
but
to-
it's almost done.
We're talking about this country. We're talking about our nation. So these are all the
I would've-
Access bad guys.
Yeah. I would have thought they would have brought in the truth, justice, and American way right in at the beginning of the war.
It's such a well-crafted line. I got to figure like they're trying to make this thing. They know that the narration's not complete and they're just pancaking on it every day. And then they finally have that great day. But what's cool is they didn't compromise and be like, this is close enough. Stronger than the surging surf. Just go with it.
Well, that's why that's why it went right from this to the live action with George Reeves, and it was effective. Like every opening, you were excited. Like for every episode,
I don't
you
think
were
we ever stopped
like,
making
"What's going to happen
cartoons.
next? What's going to go on?" You were intrigued. Yeah. Well, yeah, the cartoons, but I'm saying that when it went live action, I like George Reeves because I was excited. Like every time you hear the opening and it's just perfect, and then you're like, what's the next episode gonna be like, and all this stuff. I was intrigued. I loved it as a kid. Still do. I mean,
It's fun to.
it still gives me
Apparently, the
shivers
radio
whenever I
show
hear
was
it.
using the American Way line
Faster than
since
a speeding
September of
bullet locomotive.
'42.
Able to leave tall
The
buildings in a
host
single bound.
speaking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Germ, you were saying?
Yeah, so it'd been around for a while.
Yeah. The radio broadcast started using Truth, Justice, and the American Way in September of '42. So I was wondering why it didn't
This was
switch over to animated.
they're ahead of themselves a little bit, and they're not going back and redubbing the voices on the ones that are finished. Maybe.
Maybe. This is like
Just remember
maybe.
that radio play
11
has to
months.
happen every,
Yeah. The radio
that
play
radio
was
play
Well,
happened every
about 11
day,
months
though, right?
before this episode. I believe it
Well,
was
Wasn't it
daily or
remember when-
weekly.
Yeah.
And it was
Well,
live.
yeah, remember when I said that they only kept, according to what my research, they only kept 2 of the original voices that were on the radio program before they went to the animated, and that was Bud and Joan. So, as Superman and Lois Lane. Other than that, there was a lot of changes. There was a lot of different voices that were brought in, for the animated series. This early animated series. So, yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe they didn't feel like what the radio brought. Maybe they were trying to enhance it a little bit above what the radio series first brought to it, before they went animated. So,
You know what, Germ? Could it be that the radio people had the license to that and it had to get picked up by the detective or action comics people and then boomeranged over to the cartoon people? Maybe it just took a few months to straighten it out and some money has to change hands?
It's a possibility, but with the war going on, I'd think the money they're getting from the government would get that thrown in.
I would think. Yeah.
I don't think they've seen a penny of government money yet because I haven't seen the Army Signal Corps or Department of War logos on the opening or closing credits. I've been looking for them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I have not seen it in the credits. And this is the first one to show a consciousness of the war or of conflict outside of the city, which at this
Right.
point is just New York.
That makes me wonder too, T. Do you think that if Superman had existed during World War II, which obviously I think they're insinuating here, do you think he could have ended the war by himself? What do you think?
I'll kick that one to the episode of SNL where they indulge that topic at length.
I
There you
know
go,
which
Jerome.
episode you're talking about. There you go.
There's
Yep.
your flag. Now, will this beginning be different? Okay,
I believe that's the end
we
of
watched
it.
that one. Yeah, we watched this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the end of it.
Wow.
That's all of them.
That's all of them. Wow.
So let's just close that.
It was a real fun experience. All those renderings and all the animation, it kept getting better.
Yeah.
And it started out okay. It was never terrible. They left a lot of stuff off screen. It was clunky that way for most of the run, but I enjoyed it.
But with something like that, you don't really need all that on screen because, face it, you're dealing with 9-year-olds most of the time.
I just don't know what the target audience was for Superman originally. I honestly think there are a lot of grown people who I just don't know. I don't know.
Grown people like it, but the target audience is the kid that you bring to the show who happens
fair
to
enough.
be there, and he needs to be entertained while you're waiting for the full-length movie.
But
I would have thought these were like Saturday matinee cartoons type of thing.
yeah, but you think that the kids would have to be. Yeah, but you think back then, you think that some of the kids would have to be a little bit educated to understand what was happening, when they're watching it. So you'd have to think some of them were that way. But I think most adults that really liked the radio program thought that the animation was kind of an extension, I guess, of what they heard
Yeah.
on the radio. They get
Well-
to see it on the screen and go,
They have
"Oh,
some of the same adventures.
animated," and yeah.
The thing
so-
is,
I still agree.
the
It was
kids
Go ahead.
more
now
of an
would have been reading
extension
the comic book too, so they would have been familiar with Superman, obviously. So yeah.
Oh, Superman is so red hot. I'm thinking like by 1943, like one of the priorities was like, we need to get this Coca-Cola and 3,000 Superman comics to Tinian so that we can get them out to the troops and improve morale. Because our army was the only army, our military was the only military that did that. And that was actually a priority.
Yeah, exactly.
My great grandfather didn't have to fight in World War II because he had a defense job or whatever, a job deemed critical to national defense. He was a beer truck driver.
Yep. A lot
Good
of it,
job.
they did just those early DC type characters: Wonder Woman, Thunder, Spectre, Fate, Lantern. They
Green
only
Lantern.
stuck in because they didn't want to interfere with the war directly. They're okay
No.
with propaganda.
Well, you
But-
can't think about that. If you make you've got a really good point.
Yeah.
If you make your bad guy a Yahtzee, he's ruined once that conflict's over. You can't use him again.
Right.
I guess only Red Skull survives being used twice.
Well, he was the only one, but Captain America
Well,
was
the
always meant to
Marvel
be.
superheroes, they
Comics.
went. Not only Captain America went over there.
Right.
They had
Right.
a couple others.
Gotta go. I'm going to head out, guys, because I got some other stuff coming up soon I need to do. So it was
Yeah.
fun
What's
watching all
your
these great
review?
cartoons.
We'll see
What
about
grade do you
Fury.
give it?
I give it an A. I mean, I love the Fleischer Brothers Supermans. I think they're absolutely awesome cartoons.
A for me, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
straight A for me. Yeah.
I mean, the animation's great. The stories might be simple, but they're entertaining. Overall, they're really good little 10-minute cartoons. I mean, they're a lot of fun. So yeah, I have to give them an A.
Historicity and just the fact that they're so old gives them like an old building. It gains respect.
Because
They
it's been
get
there for
better.
a while. Yeah.
They look better as the decades go by, and you see so much crappy animation that has followed since then. You realize how damn good these cartoons were. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out, guys. It was fun, but we will see you guys later.
All right. Take care,
PTYL,
PvP.
See ya,
PvP.
PvP.
Okay, bye, guys.
Take care, man.
See ya.
Yeah, these definitely top class animation.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, we
PvP.
don't get stuff like that
Yeah,
anymore.
PvP does make a good point when he says that there's so much crappy animation nowadays, and you look back at these old serials and you see the animated Batman, you see the Superman, you even see early animated Wonder Woman and all that stuff, and it looks awesome. And then you look at even the Super Friends, even when you see the Super Friends cartoons, they're awesome. I mean, I could go back, I could watch those all the time and never have a problem. But then you see all this new stuff and everything that's coming out. And it's like, what the hell? It's like, what happened to these, good writers and these good animators? They're gone. They're gone. That's it. They're gone. So yeah, it's terrible. There's just, it's like having an
Yeah,
unbalanced,
I
one
think it
thing
would be a
got
lot
too
worse if
easy
someone
for them.
born. Yeah, it would be a lot worse if
Animation
someone
just
born in
got way too
1890 is
easy.
alive today.
That's true.
That's what it is. Also, I would say Super Friends. A lot of those look rough and low effort and shitty.
No, I
I'm
agree.
sorry.
I agree. No, I
Uh-huh.
agree. No, absolutely.
Yeah, I was never big on Super Friends.
Well, I liked it.
The
I didn't mind
90s Batman and Superman the animated series were far superior in my opinion.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were good too.
car-
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Cartoons and animated content kind of get relegated to kids, and no one thinks that much harder about it for a real long time. It takes stuff like the movie Heavy Metal to like wake people up. I don't think anyone realized that the cartoons would
Oh, Heavy
continue
Metal,
to
wow.
hold appeal as people got.
Hello.
Go ahead, Tig.
I lost my
Well,
train of thought.
I
No
was
problem.
telling Germ, I think
Okay.
it was
Probably
the
wasn't that important.
no, that's okay, T. I was just telling Germ about the Secret of Nim. Movies like Heavy Metal, Secret of, are classics. because they're meant to be classics. They were done with a lot of love by not only the animators but story writers that knew how to actually write.
There weren't many jobs, and
animated
they were like able to make money and not starve. I think they were like really pleased. After this movie, it was like unemployed, sleeping on the street, join the national like whatever logging camp corps, right? Like one of the alphabet things that FDR is pushing to save the country from like almost financial extinction, right? Between these segments, we would have seen during the Depression something to join like the Forestry Corps or the National Work Authority, I think it was called NWA. There's a bunch of them. We would have seen short movies promoting that. Like, go out and work on the Hoover Dam, like literally stuff like that. And then like after December 41, it's like war bonds, collect scrap, help win the war.
Yeah.
But at least they're putting out quality.
Yeah, they put out quality, and
Not
and
the
they
work
were
camps, but the cartoons.
Yeah,
And
and
propaganda
even
was
if they were
top notch.
patriotic. Yeah, they were patriotic. So that's.
I'm sure those national employment logging camps were like they were just like you showed up there for like shift work. They were just like, we don't have any jobs. What can you do? Well, we have a forest. We could just cut it down. What are we gonna do with the stuff? Just cut it down. That was desperation. People were. I think we had to like make major course corrections. In how
And
we
it
ran the
costs
country.
more money than it actually put into people's hands.
That's true.
It's undoubtedly true. Although I think spend money to make money, and we lend out money to the British that we don't get back until what 5 years ago. We got the war money back in like the 2010s.
They forgave most of it.
They made actually
the British paid a lot of it. The Germans, everything after the war, forgiven. Anything we gave to France during the war, technically their government collapsed, so they didn't pay us a dime.
There's no one left to pay the bill. The British did.
And we gave
pay
the
off
French almost as much as we did the British.
Yes.
Definitely.
They did definitely. Yeah.
It's during the first conflict that we see the stock market move from London to New York, as far as the most important one too. Like the Brits just never recover from that first conflict financially.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't considered safe in Europe anymore.
Not only that, but the lines were kind of drawn more arbitrarily than we think. Like we weren't in it to do the right thing and be super good so much as once the war starts, we can only lend money to the people we can get the money to, and we can't get it to the Germans. People were totally willing to lend money to the Germans. There was just no way to deliver it. So by building up a debt, it was like
be honest, they're not going to pay it back.
By building up
Germans
a debt,
don't do well
they got
anymore.
us on no, they do very well until they do well for a while. They're sort of like
they do well until
Jets.
the end, and then there's no one around left. Oh, we got all these dead and imprisoned Germans. How are we going to get this money?
It's the Seahawks or the Jets, right? It's like they had a great preseason. They drafted high. The prospects look great. A couple of good free agents. Everything looks great. They go 4-0 in the preseason, and all of a sudden, by the third game of the season, you're like, wow, it's smoke and mirrors.
Yep.
They play like shit.
I think wasn't one of the other problems with the Depression is the decision had been made during World War I, but the transition to the gold standard is underway. That's also rocking people's perception
know that
of
Joe Namath sold his soul to the devil to win Super Bowl.
I'll buy that.
56 fruitless seasons later. Yeah, I'll buy it.
So
yeah,
I think it's I got another comment from Phantom. Jack Kirby worked in animation and understood the power of animation in comics, although he said he didn't understand how animation worked.
That's hard to believe, but good quote. I mean, I believe it. Like I believe Phantom Outsider. I'm just it's a little bit. As I was saying, it's a little bit shocking.
He understood the logistics. Yeah. Well, he understood. Yeah.
Yeah, it is more the
but he understood the
airplane
logistics.
theory.
He just draw the things and stuff. He just did the logistics of how to fund it. That's what that was about. So I think that's what
Yeah, he
Fatima
understood the drawing
saying.
of it, but how all these drawings made a moving picture
Right.
probably didn't grasp how it fundamentally worked.
Basic mechanics.
Yeah.
You can't
Kind of
fault
like how
him for
most
that.
people look at airplane, they know it flies, but they don't know all the ins and outs of exactly how it creates lift and everything.
On the other side of the coin, these
Right,
people
fair
could probably
trade.
repair anything they owned themselves at that point. Everyone was pretty thrifty.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah. You could put basic
Yeah, he did.
engines and things together. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't understand how 28 images per second caused the moving picture.
That's
He
I'm
still
a
didn't
little baffled
understand that.
because
Yeah. Okay.
as I was saying, I was a little baffled by that because as a kid, he must have used the hand cranked Nickelodeon with the series of pictures. You know what I mean? And animation is before they even try photographs. You know, there's zoetropes and hand cranked Nickelodeon machines at the point Jack Kirby's like 10 years old, 5 years old enough to enjoy anything consumable. They used
No,
to be
they had
called
those
penny arcades.
They had those
No,
years
they
and
didn't.
years before, just the simple candle and just spin the top around.
Right. So the thing they called is that the zoetrope, right? If you have a series of
I
slots and a
believe
series
so.
of pictures,
Yeah, the
and that's
zoetrope. Well,
your
that's what
runtime is
Coppola.
limited by the.
Right. That's what.
As I was saying,
Yeah.
your
Sorry.
runtime is limited by the size of the. Your runtime is limited by the size of the cylinder.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Coppola called his his studio Zoetrope Studios there in San Francisco because he was fascinated by those Nickelodeons they saw in the early late 1800s and early 1900s when they had those kind of spinning little things that they had in the saloons and bars and shit. So
Penny arcades.
penny arcades. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I've been to
Sad
one of
as
those.
he said, you can show Hulk in the comics landing and launching, but not moving into arc.
Yeah, in the arch.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that would be a little bit of a problem for him.
Oh, slightly.
Back that one of the Hulk movies, they showed Hulk leap in the full arc of the leap upwards and then down would have been something he would have likely enjoyed.
Oh yeah, sure.
Probably.
Well,
I'm
considering
imagining
they
it
do
was
all that
technical.
CGI.
Yeah.
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 Well, nowadays you don't
I guess
have
you
to be
could
that
technically
technical.
do it in comics, but you'd have to have like 5 or 6 dozen different panels for them to go through the complete spanning from launching, arcing up, and then down and land. That'd be the
It's
whole
going to take
comic
you
book
like
itself.
you need about 85 drawings.
Yeah, yeah. But you notice that CGI it takes me to see the intrinsic way of doing it, and then it just makes it just seem like that easy. And I'm like, I don't know that I think that takes away definitely from the like I said, from intricate detail and the design, just like it takes away from movies, CGI like that. So yeah, it just takes something away from it, and not in a good way. So that's how I feel about that.
But I think that is a good place to leave it off. We'll go around if you have anything you want to shout out. Teague.
Maybe I'll go on pop culture minefield later. I'm still recovering. I getting over a cold. I don't know if there'll be a show tomorrow. I got some stuff going on. Keep your eye on my Twitter if you want, Admiral_Teague. Or follow, join my channel. I'm stronger with you than without you.
Mikey, go ahead. If you're still there, Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Well, we've got, like I said, we had the topic times we do on Fridays. We may just go. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Here. Yeah, I just said we got the topic times we do on Fridays. Yeah, we've got the on Sundays we're going to start genre picks, a webcam series. My wife and I, Suzanne, we're going to give you our top 5 picks for different genres like sci-fi, horror, animation, all sorts of stuff. So we got those coming up in the future. And then on Tuesdays we're still doing our 8 season each episode, and we're now on season 1, episode 5. Which is coming up on Tuesday afternoon. So hope you guys can check that out. It's very cool, and probably one of the few streams on YouTube right now that's examining A-Team in more detail. So yeah, check it out. Definitely.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
Gorilla.
All right,
Gorilla,
tonight
Gorilla.
we're reviewing The Lost World, not Return to the Lost World. I got that screwed up. Otherwise, tomorrow we're watching Mad Max 3, and Wednesday will be Justified, and then next Friday we'll be reviewing the Waltons episode, The Ghost Story.
Nice.
Sounds good.
What's that, Ma? Dad? Is that what she's saying, Kaylee? What's that, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay. As for us, we'll be doing Sci-Fi Cinema Tuesday night, 5 p.m. Pacific. Then Nerd Night Open Panel Thursday night. And then back for cartoons next Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific. The poll for that will be live tomorrow morning. I believe is when I set it for. So thanks everyone for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Take care.